In this video, we continue our 11-day road trip across the America West.
After a couple of long days on the road, we finally arrived in South Dakota, where we have an amazing time reuniting with my family and attending my sister's wedding.
Then also returned to his hometown of Vermillion for the first time in over 30 years, where he was able to share some incredible childhood memories with our kids. So we headed out on our final day of driving before meeting up with the family. It was going to be a shorter drive today, only 5 to 6 hours driving from Gillette to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, compared to the 7+ hours the days before.
So before we left the hotel, we made sure to load up with a big, beefy breakfast at the hotel. And fortunately, our hotel had donuts, which the kids really loved.
We started driving through the rest of Wyoming and then headed into South Dakota. There were really large swaths of just flat landscapes for us to drive through. For entertainment today, we were finishing up the audiobook, The We Free Men, that we started the day before. It's one of Ben's favorite audiobooks.
Clevens! Oh, aye. At this point, we started noticing a lot more motorcycles on the road. Turns out, we had happened to be traveling around the same time that the big annual motorcycle event called Sturgis was happening. And this meant that there was approximately 500,000 riders going to Sturgis, and we were about to run into quite a few of them on this trip. Not run into physically, but just pass by them, if you will.
That's right. The sky was more overcast today, but it still made for like a pretty cool mood with the cloud formations above the flat and endless road. And soon we crossed the border into South Dakota at last. It was really cool to see Mount Rushmore on the billboard that welcomed us into the state. I asked Ben if he felt anything about returning home to his state, and he said,
Not really.
He's not much for nostalgia.
No, I'm definitely not. Well, we kept chugging along, driving through the rest of South Dakota.
There was a lot of flat landscape.
Too much flat landscape.
But it was really cool that, all the roads were so straight and disappeared into like the infinite horizon. So I looked at these things when I was studying like landscape painting and perspective drawing, and I thought those things only existed in those art classes.
Yeah, turns out it happens in real life. When we were stopping to get gas, we ran into this nice family of motorcyclists, and they had a little kid, and he came over and, of course, made friends with our kids, as they often do. He showed Abigail and Luke his collection of bikes and trucks and toys, and everybody was really fascinated.
And soon we crossed the Missouri River. We were almost there.
Yay!
And then more windmills appeared, but now these were South Dakotan windmills.
Proper South Dakotan windmills. After that, the cornfields started to appear. There wasn't just corn. There was fields upon fields upon fields of corn.
There was so much corn, we started theory crafting about just how much corn we were seeing right before us. We wondered, if a person ate nothing but corn for the rest of their life, how long would one of these fields last?
Turns out, later on, we would find out that these cornfields actually weren't likely to be harvested for food, but it was still fun to theory craft the numbers. I think we arrived at the conclusion that even if a person ate nothing but corn for the rest of their life, they'd barely make a dent in just one of the fields in front of us.
As we got closer to Sioux Falls, we passed by this giant horse and giant bull on our right. Must be for the giant people that live in this area.
And that's no bull. We finally made it into Sioux Falls for my sister Sharon's wedding, which started at 5, and we cruised in casually late around 5:40.
And just like that, we were thrown into this huge family reunion with Ben's siblings and their kids. We met many of Tom's family as well, but the family tree was definitely way larger on Sharon's side of the family.
Naturally, Luke and Abigail immediately made friends with all of the children present, including the cousins, nephews, nieces, aunts, and uncles that they were meeting for the first time.
Sharon had kindly reserved an awesome cabin for some of the families to stay at that were attending the wedding and the reception. So after the reception, we started driving there based on kind of the loose directions that we were given.
At first, it was a normal drive. We were just heading towards the fields. But then it started getting very dark very fast, and it turned into a seemingly deserted path of forests, trees, and crop fields. It was becoming very creepy, and I was pretty sure my sister was just sending us off to die.
Luckily, when we pulled up to the cabin, we saw some familiar faces that weren't axe murderers, and we walked into a house that was already full of life and a lot of catching up that was happening between family members.
Gotta say, the cabin was pretty cool. The kids got to sleep in a bunk bed for the first time, and of course, they naturally fought over who would get in the top or the bottom bunk.
Are we gonna need the bunk beds?
You guys are sleeping in the bunk beds. You and Abigail get bunk beds. So we ended up having them take turns since we were going to be there 2 nights anyway. One person on top, one person on the bottom, and vice versa.
When we woke up the next morning, we finally got to take a good look around the place. And in the morning light, the place was absolutely beautiful.
When we went outside, the kids were already out there playing with their cousins. They were playing games like telephone, where you whisper one message into somebody's ear and it goes around the table until you finally hear what monstrosity the original expression turned into. Normally, our daughter leads the charge for these kinds of games, and this was no different.
After breakfast, the group decided to go on a hike and explore the surrounding areas next to the cabin. The kids found some really cool stuff. They found some deer tracks. They found a ton of snail shells that they somehow ended up collecting from the trail and tried to get us to keep it forever.
My pockets were bursting at the seams, so I happened to lose most of the shells quite quickly afterwards.
By accident.
I threw them away. In the afternoon, we made our way over to the Newton State Park, where my sister Sharon's wedding ceremony was being held. At the same time, there was this annual Folk Fest festival, say that 3 times fast, that was being set up at the park around the same time.
We made our way over to the area for the wedding ceremony, and it was going to be officiated by Tom's daughter.
Weddings are about love, and I found myself thinking about the many different ways love shows up.
I'm reassured by your integrity. I'm impressed by your willpower.
I eagerly anticipate the future with you. I've said time and time again to you that I'm not going anywhere. Not with your love of driving. It's hard to say where the road might lead, but no, Sharon, forever I'll be by your side.
Will you give him the freedom to be creative? Will you love him when life is peaceful and when it is in disorder? When you are proud of him and when you are disappointed in him? And will you always try to keep your love growing for the rest of your days?
I will.
Tom, will you take Sharon to be your wife? Will you accept her and allow her to differ with you? Will you give her the freedom to be creative? Will you love her when life is peaceful and when it is in disorder? When you are proud of her and when you are disappointed in her? And will you always try to keep your love growing for the rest of your days?
I will.
Pray of today and the hope of every day you'll walk side by side from here. So now that Sharon and Tom have given themselves to one another through the sacred vows, the joining of hands, and the giving of rings so well back, I joyfully pronounce them husband and wife, partners in a beautiful journey of love, grace, and new beginnings. And you may now kiss each other.
It was honestly such a simple, beautiful, and intimate wedding. I was really moved that Sharon and Tom were able to find each other and enjoy a life of happiness together.
After the wedding, we took a couple family photos, and some of the adults sat back and enjoyed the folk festival while I took the kids over to the playground so that they could play.
And it was here at the folk festival that I really started to soak in the beautiful culture of South Dakota and the Midwest in general. The slower pace that comes when not everything has to be done at such high, intensive speeds and pressures all the time in the environment that I'm used to, working in the tech industry, it's actually really nice. Walking around the festival, there were so many complete strangers that smiled at me in genuine kindness in a way that I would never expect if I was walking around in a bigger city like Seattle. People seem to generally enjoy the slower pace of life, and I think that's really beautiful. Sometimes I feel like I'm so conditioned to the fast-paced culture that it's easy to forget to slow down and enjoy the life that's happening all around you.
After the festival, we returned to the cabin where we made s'mores over a fire pit. It was Luke and Abigail's first time ever making real s'mores over a fire, and I gotta say, they totally loved it. Sharon and Georgia had set up sticks, graham crackers, chocolates, marshmallows, the whole shebang. It was pretty cool. We may have let them eat a few too many, but this was a special occasion, so what the hell.
Nice, bud.
Good job, oh, Dad, look how. I think that's sure it's not. I think marshmallow's on fire! It's on fire! How do I get it? Hey, Dad, I get it. It's done as many. Yeah, so. Where are they? It's I can't see.
No, you're good.
Oh, this is so toasted, except for us. Look how toasted mine are. You have to blow the fire. There you go.
It was definitely a night to remember.
The next morning, the cousins gathered for one last play session of Mario Kart before it was time to say goodbye. Abigail cried at the thought that she might not see her cousins for a very long time. These were family members that she didn't even know she had a couple of days ago, and now she can't stand the thought of saying goodbye.
Georgia told us that her kids use this messaging service, so we told Abigail that when we got home, we'd set it up for her so she could keep in touch with her cousins. It helped calm her down and comfort her as we drove away.
We then started driving towards Vermillion. This was Ben's hometown until he was age 12. He actually had never been back to Vermillion since his family moved to Savannah, Georgia, which was over 30 years ago.
As we were getting closer to Vermillion, I started to see some familiar things from my memory.
Here's the sign for Vermillion. Population 11,695.
You have to understand that Vermillion is not a very big city, but I definitely had a lot of fond memories as we were turning around every street and corner.
Any of this look familiar?
None of this looks familiar. There's the Dairy Queen. That was the Dairy Queen that was closed for half the year.
Wait, there's Dairy Queen that closes half the year?
I don't think it anymore, but it did at the time.
Why?
Because it was so cold. There was so much snow in this area they couldn't support the thing.
Because they sell blizzards.
That's right. And here was our first stoplight. And this used to be a Hardee's. And if I, yep, this is very familiar. We're gonna stop right here for a second. Daddy used to spend so much time right there. And where that Burger King was, it was a place called W.C. Frank's. It was an arcade that served hot dogs.
Is that your arcade?
Yeah.
The one that you spend a lot
So
of time?
I would spend so much time in this area right here, sidewalk and into the street. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, that's 323. That's where my house used to be, 323 North Pine. Pretty neat, huh? It's sad that it's gone, but things change over time.
Our first stop was at a park that Ben spent a lot of his childhood playing at. And, I bet it was pretty cool for you to see our kids playing in that same park.
It was pretty cool. The water tower was still there, but all the playground equipment was different. But they were having a great time, so.
Behind the walls and stuff, we would shoot. plays, and they would come in and out of the back area that was on stage. Well, so we would take our frisbee, and then we'd go to the frisbee.
The par is 3.
Yeah, so you're supposed to make it in 3 throws. Do you think that's possible? I mean, maybe. If you got really good.
How's that bug so big compared to the map?
And frisbee golf honestly seems like a great concept and a great idea. I'm surprised it hasn't taken off in other parts of the country.
My preschool. I used to spend my first 5 years of life here. Yeah. Oh no, so sad.
Now it's an empty field.
Yeah, it's an empty field. And this church is the same. Wow, this thing is so old. Computers. But it's very different now. Like, they've clearly rebuilt it several times. That used to be the main entrance right there. And so they've clearly expanded it a lot. And this building is the same. This water tower is the same. This water storage unit or whatever it was. That greenhouse right there, guys. Hey guys, look to the right. You see this greenhouse? That's where Aunt Sharon lives. The one who just got married. That's her house right there.
That's her current house?
Yeah. And that's her, oh my God, that is her green van. That is a very Sharon van. I don't know if anyone's home. Let's see.
Given that Vermillion is such a small town, naturally we ran into one of my family members, completely by accident. He suggested we go for lunch at this place called Café Brulé. Linda and I agreed that this was definitely the best restaurant we ate at for the entire trip. She had the chicken fried steak, and I had a Monte Cristo. Both were absolutely delicious. And the kids were blown away with their fancy mac and cheese, which they knew was fancy because it had a little tiny green leaf on the top.
On my mac and cheese. No, I mean the date.
That's a garnish.
After lunch, we went over to the National Music Museum, which was next to the University of South Dakota that Ben's dad taught at. The kids aren't that interested in museums at this age, but at least there was a scavenger hunt for them to partake in.
In order to make it through the museum with minimal whining, fussing, and complaining, we bribed them with ice cream. After finishing the tour of the museum, we walked back downtown and found an ice cream place called the Cow and Spoon. It was extra tasty and appeased everyone in the family.
With their bellies full of food and ice cream, the kids were in a much better mood to torture Daddy with the toys they got from the music museum. There was this clapper thing that Ben really loved that they got.
I hated it so much. It never stopped clapping.
And they play some Simon Says, which is always a favorite.
Wait. No! You get 2 points.
Points?
Yeah. If you trick us, you get a point.
All right, fine. Simon said walk backwards. Simon didn't say turn around. Simon said walk backwards. You certainly can turn around.
Okay, that's 1 point.
For the last part of our trip to Vermillion, we saw there was a place called Pizza Ranch, and it had like an arcade and everything like that, so we went ahead and stopped by there. I noticed that this was a place that my dad used to take me when I was young that was actually a bar, restaurant, and a bowling alley all in one. I remember that place fondly, I love it, and I miss it.
We had so much fun here playing all the different games.
Yeah, that's the only real place.
Yeah. So after that, you get to use a real wheel instead of a controller.
What do you forget? Okay, stop. Auto one.
Go!
Where do I use my item? I'm glad.
It's okay, Abigail, you'll catch up. I have a fan. What are you doing with this?
What? Man, black people, if they get close. That's what I got. That's
weird item.
It's a smacker hit.
Oh, you're almost there. You're almost there.
Get the finish line.
Nice.
Yay!
Bye. Where'd you end up? Hey, you're second.
Good job. Yeah, that's really good for your first time using the wheel.
Oh,
This was one of the original arcade games.
some people really bad and really good at it.
Yeah. People were very impressed. Well, that's it.
Where do I?
It's just like a carnival. It's very rigged.
Unless you're really good at throwing.
Red ones become more points.
It should be noted that, like most of these ticket games, some of the games were definitely more rigged than others.
What are you looking for?
No!
Great win.
Got 5 tickets. Yes! Wait, 0?
I think you only get.
I think you threw too quickly.
We did have this incredible streak though, where we won 500 tickets multiple times in a row. Kids could not believe it.
Zoom in on this.
Score. It's just going. Extreme Zoom.
500 tickets twice in a row.
What? Oh, Abigail, get some dance.
Oh.
The camera for Mommy.
Yeah.
Who's to go?
You guys
Only
are
took 2
awesome.
tries right there.
Oh,
Quick,
got
quick, quick.
another 500.
Another 500. Look down there. What?
It's going up to 500 again!
Crazy.
The only downside is it takes forever.
It does take forever. But hey, yay! Ready? Tap. Oh, wait. Hold on. Okay.
Ready. So I just
Tap. Tap. Go. Go. Don't let the truck hit you. But you also can't let the screen grab you, okay? Ooh,
What?
that's so many traffic. Oh, splat!
Oh,
Watch out,
no.
trains up here.
Watch out.
Go.
Go.
Oh! Ready?
Let's go.
All right, we got yellow. You're up, Abigail. Abigail's first.
Wait, you're
Abigail,
still
Abigail.
connected?
Yep.
I'm connected. Oh,
Try again, Abigail. Try again.
Can you like this? Okay.
Okay, Luke, your shot.
Red player. Shoot.
Nice shot.
Good job.
Uh-oh, can Abigail make a shot?
Oh, so close.
I like what he does. I even want to.
Oh,
No!
All
I'm
right, Luke.
gonna win.
Good job.
So yeah, those 3 games.
Yeah, go take a look at the prizes.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna look over what we want. Then we'll call for help. I don't want someone to sit back here waiting while you go, one Rolo, one lollipop. I want everything chosen before
Yeah,
we
we
go.
gotta choose everything before we call someone over, okay?
Okay.
So,
what do you
to be
want?
fair, you guys have 1,000 each.
Okay.
Naturally, the kids took way too long to decide what they wanted, and we ended up walking away with some toys that I know cost far less than what we paid for in credits to play the games. But they had a fantastic time, which is really the only thing that matters.
For dinner, I saw there was a Popeyes on the map nearby and had to check it out, since it's not a chain we have in the local Seattle area, and I wanted to see how it compared to other chicken chains. After trying the food, I thought the rice and beans were really definitely interesting, but I wouldn't put the chicken above an Azell's from back home.
Absolutely not.
Although, I didn't get to try their chicken sandwich, which I think is more what they're known for.
So as the sun was setting, we drove towards our hotel. Would it be another 30 years before I came back to my hometown? Probably not, but we'll see. Anyway, I was just glad that I could share my childhood memories with my kids, even though they were hardly paying attention in the back of the car.
In our next video, we're going to explore Mount Rushmore, the Black Hills, and visit the craziest cowboy town that we won't forget anytime soon.